Living inside a fantasy world, everybody must have dreamt of something like living alongside with mythical beasts and magic, which is simply, if speaking for real, is not practically possible, but at least we got manhwas. In fact, fantasy manhwas to get our fantasy dreams fulfilled. Therefore today we've come up with some of the top 10 SSS rated fantasy mangas worth reading. And yes, it's part 2 of our previous top 10. If you haven't checked that out, then make sure to look out for it as well. Now with that, without any further delays, let's kick off our today's video, firstly with the number 10 in the list. Number 10. Shin Angyo Onshi. Mensu and Angyo Onshi, where all he knew was to fight against the evil side, but ever after the Junshin, the country he fought for was already so collapsed, he had no reason to fight. And he was lurking from place to place. Later he decided to fight against all the evils present in the world and was supported by a female warrior named Chunyong and able to call upon the strength of a ghostly legion with his Angyo Onshi powers, and continued fighting those whose presence could have destablished the country. Yeah, that's a thing. Personally speaking, this manga is really something else. It takes place in a world with demons and humans and what seems to be an old era in Korea. The main character, Munsu, is a former general from Junshin, but Junshin has fallen because of the death of its king. Mushu's best friend, after his death, he decides to become an Angyo Onshi. But these are secret government agents who were charged by the king to bring justice in his country. Number 9. Epoch of Dragon. All began when a normal life-living person, Shin, was handed another chance to live. By transmigrating to an unknown world, he could have become the most powerful in the world, but guess what? Yes, he missed the chance because he chose to transmerge in women. But again, then the twist here played out that he was caught by the force in a struggle between the 9 most powerful experts, and due to something weird happenings, he was reborn and sent back to the place he had transmigrated over to. Number 8. Ecstasy Hearts. The story here revolves around Shimizu Anya, who is a child of the world's best 2 tennis players, and hence she carries this weight of expectations around her to be the best in tennis as well. She might not have been as passionate about tennis as her parents, as much as they might have wanted her to be, but provoking from this kid called Axel, Kozumi ignites a fire within her to conquer him and become the best. The guy, Axel, on the other hand, seems to be an effortless genius in tennis who doesn't need much effort to overpower Anya, much to the chagrin of the girl, and thus starts a journey of the girl to show everyone how her genes and how hard it is, how hard work can lead to her taking the crown of tennis queen of the world. The backdrop of the story is quite common. To sum it up in one line, it's just a girl's one-sided rivalry dating back to her childhood days. Number 7. For the Sake of Sita. The story is based on a tradition of Kumari in Nepal, also some of the few in-list mangas which covered a different country all gets on when a medical student falls in love with a fallen goddess in Nepal. He meets Sita in a side street alleyway where she sells herself to earn enough money to survive day to day. He quickly falls in love and marries Sita. He returns with her to his home, but she unfortunately dies within a year. Desperate, he asked the gods to save Sita. A goddess answered him and asked him what he will give in exchange. He agrees to anything and for an unknown price is given the chance to save Sita. But in an unexpected way, if you really are into some real love story mangas, then this one can be honest for you. The characters are rounded and can make you laugh and cry. Number 5. Feng Shen Ji. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. When God found the new emperor of the Shang dynasty, which has been in power for many years till then, but instead of submitting to their will at the expense of this people, He pulls something completely out of his pocket, and the Emperor resolves to throw off the gods and free humanity. And not only the god, but also a rival Zou, who submits to the god's will for his own purposes, will face him. Here's out the battle between the forces of heaven and earth pulled out, which will be determining the fate of all humanity. It's a pretty cool story. It's got humorous parts and quick gags, and it's better than most of mangas I've ever read. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Number 4. Solo Leveling. Here we have it, a classic. Solo Leveling manga is one of the most recent sensations, and with its popularity, more people found webtoons interesting. Here, in a world where hunters and humans who possess magical abilities must battle deadly monsters, and to protect humanity from certain annihilation, a notoriously weak hunter named Sung Joon finds himself in a seemingly endless struggle for survival. Well, now you gotta follow his journey to see what kind of enemies he's fighting. And this is regarded as one of the best ever. It's got amazing action scenes, amazing character development, amazing everything. The artwork is nuts. See, it's on number 1 for a lot of reasons. So yeah. Number 3. Eleceed. The story revolves around Ji Woo, who is shown as a kind-hearted young character who holds inhuman reflexes like the lightning reflexes of a cat, to be exact, and intends to make the world a better place for being. And also Kaden, who is another character in the story who runs out through the story. Kaden, a secret agent on the run who finds himself stuck in a body of a fat old fluffy cat. And the duo of Ji Woo with his superpowers and Kaden with Uber's smarts, they go out to fight evil. Personally speaking, it's one of my favorite webtoons ever. You guys gotta give it a try. It's in the top 3 for a reason. Check it out, man. Number 2. The Beginning After the End. The story is placed in a world which was highly influenced and governed by martial ability. There lived someone who had matchless strength, and he was none other than King Grey. Alongside while having matchless strength, he too was wealthy and prestigious. But then he was slowly left out alone. Solitude really did hang around him. But wait, this is not yet over, and yes, he was reincarnated into a new world which was full of magic and monsters. The king gained another chance to correct his past mistake and relive his life. But that's not only something that he had to deal with, but also under the shell of peace, the prosperity of the world, there also was an undercurrent of threatening to destroy everything he worked for. Personally speaking, I really like this manga. The Beginning After the End manga is definitely a whirlwind to read. You guys have to check this one out. You just have to. I can't stress on it enough. Number 1. Dead Days. The story starts off in a different place than most zombie stories, whereas normal stories usually begin with the outbreak. Dead Days starts off 4 days into an outbreak. Zombies litter the streets, and we're introduced to our main protagonist, a young high school male who is starving in his room because he turned his mother into a scratching. What did he turn into? Just kidding. Yeah. Mother is turned. She's scratching the locked door. Here he meets a young girl of his age who's trying to survive and calls for help on an apartment building across the street. They figure out a way to communicate and find comfort in each other while they wait for rescue. From here on, the story progresses. Dead Days is a masterpiece when it comes to artwork. The story might be average, and the characters might not be very likable, but it has realistic art, and the author clearly knows how to grip his reader. So, with this smooth transition, beautiful and authentic art style, it's amazing. You guys have to love this one. This is Zombie Apocalypse, but you guys will love it. And with that, we've reached the end of our today's listings and the video. But before you close up the video, move away if you really did enjoy our today's list. And then make sure that you drop a like on this video. And make sure to leave your suggestion and thoughts regarding our today's video down below in the comment section. And subscribe, and the notification bell better be turned on. That'd be great, and that'll be help for us, of course. My name is Zira Khan, and today my tongue is not feeling so well. That's why I sound a little weird. Anyway, till then, see ya.